Welcome to a very special episode of Real Talk with Rogers. We are not alone today, but I am always joined by the co-host and namesake of the show, Molly Rogers. Molly, how are you?
I'm so good.
Yes?
Yes.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's good to have you again.
Thanks. Things seem a little different.
It is a little different. There seems to be a buzz in the air.
It's like things seem a little off.
Yes, there's like not so much here,
but I feel like
kind of out here.
Like the aura.
It's a little different on the edges.
Well, maybe we'll figure out what it is.
We'll just play it by ear and see what happens.
Yeah.
It is Halloween, which is a national holiday on college campuses across America. A chance for people to dress how they really want to on an everyday basis. But only on Halloween do they have the courage to actually do it, right?
True.
I haven't introduced you yet. You can't talk.
Ignore that.
Just nod and we'll go ahead. We are joined today because it is Halloween and we want to talk about some specific Halloween issues. We are joined today by fellow senior Maddie Rudnick.
Hello.
Junior Kelly Johnson.
Hi.
Sophomore Tori Shepard.
Hello.
And bringing up the Danish contingency on the end, freshman Megan Rasmussen.
What's up?
So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about superstitions because athletics are very superstitious. Shepard, pay attention.
I got it.
Okay. And talk about superstitions that we have as players, as coaches. That's fitting for Halloween.
Yeah, nice
And
spooky topic.
Spooky, and there aren't any ladders or black cats on the court typically, so athletes have to find their own special superstitions. So as namesake, Mo, why don't we start with you, the conversation.
Cool.
Are you a superstitious person?
I am. I get it from my mom.
Yes.
She is really superstitious. Mostly about sports, not like a weird like Friday the 13th thing.
Okay.
My main one is that I have to wear a bow before every game, and I always, like during every game, not before. I wear it before too. But, and it's always like I wear a white bow with the blue uniform, blue bow with the white uniform.
Really?
And I gotta tell you, when we wore red uniforms at Brown for the ALS support game.
The red bows?
Yes, the red bows. I was having a little bit of a freak out because in my entire college career, I've only worn plain blue and plain white bows. Luckily, we played well and we won because it kind of broke the barrier for
I was
the
going to
colors.
say, you had a pretty good match, so maybe that's something you should do.
Maybe I should always wear a red bow.
Maddie, as a fellow senior, do you have to make sure she's got the right color bow, or do you pay attention to your own?
I have her back in a lot of situations, but usually she has it covered, so I don't have to help her out too much.
Do you have anything? What about superstitions?
Mine's kind of along the same lines, where I always wear my hair in a braid since freshman year, and the one time I didn't do it was in California, and so ever since then I was like, I'm never doing that again. I have to wear it in a braid.
This past year or years before?
This year.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was like, I broke it and I regret it, so I have to go back to it again.
Interesting. Who braids the hair? Is it self-braid?
Self-braid. Self-taught.
Self-reliant. That kind of goes along with a Maddie Rudnick. She's very self-reliant. She's that way. Kelly, do you have any? You seem like a person who might have a superstition or two.
With volleyball, yes. I'm a bit of a caffeine addict, so I have a iced coffee before every game.
And what else? Any specific kind? Does it have to be?
I usually just do the plain iced coffee, no like sweeteners, anything like that, and then a little bit of milk, and good to go.
Does it have to be Dunkin', or can it be Starbucks?
I'm more of a Starbucks. It's also right next to my apartment, so I just walk on over.
So you do have brand loyalty.
It's not brand loyalty, it's more convenience, and I'm like lazy, so I don't want to walk all the way to Dunkin'. It's on the way to the gym, so it's like,
wow,
oh.
there's a lot going on there.
Yeah. A lot of logistics.
A lot of logistics.
Yeah.
So far, out of the small sampling we have, that's the most outside forces dependent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good,
Yeah.
very good. And our first liquid-based superstition.
Yes.
So we're gonna come over here. We're gonna come over here to the other part of the LA contingency. With Tori Shep. Shep, what kind of superstition do you have?
Well, I'm a big believer in mojo. I mean, like aura mojo.
Okay.
You know,
So if we have like a little like rough spurt and I come off like the court and my water bottle's in a certain place, I'll like move it somewhere else. And then if we're doing really well, I'll like take note, like, leave your water bottle there.
That's the hot spot.
It gets rough though, because sometimes I come back and it's in a different spot. So then I'm like, do I keep it there or do I move it back to its original spot?
Well, now, have you let everybody know that they're not to touch the water
Yeah.
bottle?
I should make an announcement.
Here's your platform,
We'll
Barry.
post it.
People don't move my water bottle because it affects how we play.
We'll come back over here to Ras as the head of the freshman contingency in this discussion. What do you got? What kind of weirdness
Alright.
do you have going
I
on?
have two.
Uh-oh.
The first one is hair related. Ever since like 8th grade, I had to wear a twist in my hair this way. That's just pretty basic before every game. And then this one is kind of weird. So if I play well at practice, I don't wash my knee pads. And if I play bad at practice, I wash my knee pads so they can like start fresh the next day. You know, like start over, like a restart button, but for your knee pads.
Do you think that's a health hazard?
It could be.
If you play well, like consistently.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
don't
that
wash it.
could be a health hazard.
I have a cream that I could give you.
I would like a follow-up question. Are you concerned at all about skin rashes, infections?
Stop.
Not necessarily.
necessarily.
Yeah?
I feel like I should be because I've heard some horror stories from Molly, but
That's why I wash my knee pads every single practice.
I don't know. I think it's more about like Tori said, the mojo of my knee pads. I'm just saying. And I haven't washed my ankle bracelets all year either.
Really?
Yeah, fun fact.
That is interesting. So we've got a lot of hair things, a lot of serving is also a certain time for superstitions. Anybody got any serving things that you have to do beforehand?
I always start with the ball the same way, like the logo, like that Molten or NCAA logo, like it's always like facing my hand in the front.
Oh,
Yes.
anyone else?
Nothing really. Sometimes I wipe my shoes on my socks. Almost every time. Get that grip.
Interesting.
I take the ball and I flip it, and then right before I serve, I do a little toss in my hand. Just, you know, get the nice wrist movement.
Of course.
Wrist flash.
Of course.
Shep?
I've gotten better at it, but I used to bounce the ball really hard. Sometimes I still do.
Have you ever lost control of it while doing that?
Oh,
and
definitely,
had to chase it and
That's why I stopped like doing it so much, because it got kind of embarrassing.
And then what, did you feel that was connected you better to the ball? What was the
Well, yeah, because then I would serve it like really hard, so I was used to like bouncing it really hard.
I was trying to think about any superstitions I had, and I used to be much more superstitious, but then as a coach it just starts to pile up, so that basically you can't do anything at any time without a bunch of steps beforehand. And I thought, well, if this is going to be my career, maybe I shouldn't do that at all.
Yeah.
And so the only thing I do, and it kind of goes along with yours, Tori, is if we're not playing well, I will switch to the other leg.
That's why you do that.
Sometimes I will do that because I feel like I get in a rut, and so I have to change. And
Of course.
I feel like that helps.
My mom does the same thing. Well, now she sits in the same seat every single game for the entire game, but when I was in club in high school, if she was sitting in a spot and then we started playing bad, she'd like get up and move. And then if we started playing well, she'd stay there.
Maddie, as one of the elder statesmen, what do you think this says about athletes, that we get so wrapped up in superstitions like this?
Well, athletics are very psychological, so sometimes anything that can calm your nerves or like get you like mentally like in check, sometimes you just have to take advantage of that.
That is very well put. Well, I think that was a very good discussion on superstitions. Very eloquently capped off by Maddie Rudnick there. That was good input. It was our first guest stars of the season, and that went off. I thought that went pretty well.
Self-fact.
I agree.
Brass,
We won't be asking Raz back.
She was last appearance.
and then it went off the deep end.
You can self-fact yourselves as well.
I might think about it.
I don't think that was the issue,
Oh.
Brad.
Maybe we should mention the matches this weekend.
Oh, it's something about volleyball?
Oh,
Yeah, we are playing volleyball this weekend.
Are we on your team?
We beat Brown. And very fine fashion. It was a very nice match. The football team came in and raised the decibel level. Shout out.
Nice. Represent.
And so this weekend we are home again. We have Dartmouth. We have Harvard. So it'll be big weekends. Football home this weekend. What do we got football wise?
They're away.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's all right. But so another good home weekend. So everybody gets to stay in their own rooms and their own surroundings, so that they can control their superstitions the best of their abilities.
Yes.
Mo, before we go, just how you feel like things are going right now in this part of the season?
I think things are going well. We're in the second half. Like now we're officially in the second half of Ivies, which is always really fun. Playing teams second time gets a little more exciting, a little more interesting. I'm excited. I think the team's doing well, so should be a fun weekend.
I would agree with Molly. We're doing really well. We've had some good practices. We're showing a lot of competitiveness and drive to finish out the season strong.
Fantastic.
This weekend.
Again, well put by Maddie.
So
Yeah,
maybe
well.
you should just get rid of me.
So I want to thank our guests for coming in here today and sharing their inner darkest fears. And we will see you next week on Real Talk with Rogers.
Woo!